YouTube? Welcome back to a brand new video. Welcome back to the channel, guys. So look, I was scrolling through Twitter literally yesterday, and somebody was talking about adrenochrome and how it is related to Monsters Inc. Now, adrenochrome is like, I guess, your chemical compound that makes you have adrenaline, and it makes you, want to move or makes you want to fight or something like that. Being that when this movie came out, a lot of you guys were so young that we never understood the concept of exactly what Monsters Inc. was about. It was just an animated film. It's about to be some scary truths unveiled right now. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you guys. I have not watched this video yet, so we are gonna watch that together. I saw this on Twitter and how it was related to Monsters Inc. and how there's theories behind Monster Inc. that when we were younger, we just looked at it as something normal. Truth be told, man, hey, it's something that goes on behind the scenes, bro. There was also talking about how Monsters Inc. is somewhat linked to children pedophilia, pedophile. It's a dark truth behind Monsters Inc. that we're gonna look right into. I saw this on Twitter, so that's exactly why I want to react to this video with you guys. This video was made 2 years ago, so I'm late on it, but it ended up sparking back up in the media. So we're about to get straight into it. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down below. Let's uncover this together, man. I mean, it's weird because most of these animated films, I mean, you don't know what's going on until you get older, and then you watch the film and you realize how either demonic it is or how it's related to children and stuff like that. It's a lot of crazy stuff going on, bro. We finna get right into it, bro. Let's watch this together.
Monsters Inc. may be about the world of monsters, but Pixar did everything they could to make it as cute and family friendly as possible. Despite this, there have been some dark theories.
And bro, here's another thing. You see that little girl right there, bro? So Monster Inc. makes it think like, oh, she's just a little girl, they're trying to save her, whatever. They taking her, they're fighting over a girl. And on top of that, you see that guy in the background right here? I just thought about it. That guy had that girl touching on her in the film. Somewhere, I remember, had her touching on her on the film. And it's a lot of crazy stuff going on, man.
That popped up over the years, including Boo's future, multiple connections to Toy Story, and the tragic fate of Sully in the future. Before you watch, click subscribe. You'll join our notification squad to be the first to know of new Screen Rant content.
You idiot! They're gonna shut down the factory!
The monsters will lose their power source. In Monstropolis, the advanced technology has allowed monsters to harness energy through both screams and laughter of children. These elements have created a system the world relies on for all of their power needs. With millions of doors and a seemingly infinite source of power, it would seem as if the monsters could live forever with the energy. Well, if this Pixar theory is true and all the movies are connected within the same universe, then the world of monster energy is merely a ticking time bomb. Hopefully, the monsters are building a massive reserve of power because in the year 2105, they are going to lose all their access to power. The reasons behind this can be found in the movie WALL-E. WALL-E takes place in 2805, where the robot cleans up trash from Earth where humans no longer live. According to the film, humans left the planet 700 years earlier when too much trash and pollution made it uninhabitable. If this is the case, then all of the doors the monsters use will become useless. Children's rooms will be empty, and the monsters will not have a reliable power source to live off of. Eventually, the monster world will die off, much like the Earth showcased in WALL-E. Unless technology has become so advanced the monsters are able to connect to the space stations, they will have to think of another way to find power.
Last night was one of the worst nights of my entire life, bar none.
Radioactive mutation. Connecting all of the Pixar movies together is a challenge, especially when dealing with bugs, monsters, talking toys, and an elderly man who floats in a balloon house. Connecting Monsters Inc. to the other films has proved to be a challenge over the years, but one that has made a little more sense with theories involving time travel and mutations. Sure, there are plot holes and plenty of questions which need answers, but look at the bigger picture to see how Monsters Inc. can...
And here's a big thing you gotta think about, is the fact that they literally take kids. They take kids, put them in a room, and they're in there by themselves. They take kids now. They take kids, put them in a room, lock the door, and they can't get out. And then they test them, seeing if they scream loud enough, and it get marked off as a meter or whatever, which is another crazy thing.
Can fit into the Pixar puzzle. The dark theory involves the world's experiments with nuclear energy and bombs. All of the monsters you see in Monsters, Inc. are not actually monsters, but humans who had been genetically mutated over hundreds, if not thousands of years. The results of radioactive exposure has led to one-eye monsters like Mike, furry monsters like Sully, and crazy capabilities like Randall's camouflage techniques. The doors to the children's rooms are actually time portals to the past, allowing the monsters to harness energy by going back in time. So the monsters these children are seeing are actually genetic mutations from the future coming back to feed off the energy of their ancient relatives. Pretty disturbing there, Pixar.
Holy. Okay. So basically they were saying, let's say Sully, right? The monster. Let's say back in the future or in the past, that was his niece or something. And he gets her and feeds off her energy is basically what I'm getting from that. Another crazy thing is they talking about how the monsters used to be humans, and with radioactive mutation changed them to have, like they said, one eye for the green man and then like a lot of eyes for another one, or make them do crazy stuff. That's crazy. I probably won't watch this movie no more. It's a little weird.
Of course, the time travel thing comes with a lot of complications, including the use of Earth's time zones and the destruction of doors as children become older. Just picturing the monsters as horrific mutations is enough to draw a few extra scares from some of the more innocent scenes.
Hey, you guys seen Sully anywhere?
Sully was murdered. In Monsters, Inc., the monsters fear humans despite being the ones who get scares out of them. One of the main reasons for the fear is from the possible spread of disease. Then there's the short scene in the film where Randall brings up a whole other human fear to Sully. Randall talks about humans who catch monsters, skin them, and then use their fur for toilet seat covers. What initially seemed like a funny line had some legs to it years later with the release of the Toy Story short entitled Partysaurus Rex. In the short, Bonnie has bath time, where Rex interacts and meets with a number of bath toys. Watch during the wide shot of the bathroom and you can spot a pretty familiar looking toilet seat cover.
That's crazy, bro. They done skint that man. That's crazy, bro. This movie was so ahead of its time. I wouldn't say so ahead of its time, but when we were kids, we wasn't expecting that. We were just thinking, animated monsters that's cute and whatnot. But bro, this is something scary, man.
The fur on the seat matches Sully's fur and essentially proves Randall's theory to be true. What started out as a fun and simple Toy Story mini movie turned into a horrific glimpse at Sully's future. How was Sully caught? How many toilet seat covers were made from his fur? And who would buy such an odd-looking toilet seat cover in the first place? Poor innocent Bonnie just enjoys her bath, not realizing she shares the bathroom with the skin of a dead monster. We're guessing Mike's lack of fur helped him live and avoid the morbid fate. Boo and Violet are the same person. On the surface, the character of Boo is a cute character with a sweet connection to Sully. She truly made Monsters, Inc. so memorable, but her young age and lack of communication has made her the source of so many theories. Without much information given about her, fans have gone wild trying to connect her with other movies and come up with some crazy theories. One of these theories states that Boo and Violet are the same person. Violet is the heroine daughter featured in The Incredibles. She has the ability to turn invisible and create a protective force field around her. How are Boo and Violet the same person? Let's look at some of the details. Boo is a quick kid, but there are multiple points in Monsters, Inc. where she seemingly disappears only to reappear in another area again. Just like Jack in The Incredibles, Violet may have had her powers at a young age and is already using some of them by the time she escapes into Monstropolis. In Monsters, Inc., Boo's real name is Mary, a far cry from Violet, but this one is easily explained. The Incredibles have entered the Witness Protection Program on multiple occasions, forcing them to change their names. While Dash changed his to reflect his speed, Mary changed her name to reflect her mood and unique colored force field. Both characters have similar looks, but we'll have to see more details in The Incredibles 2 to truly know for sure if Boo and Violet are the same person.
Alright, bro. With that fact right there, bro, they just talking. They just talk. I ain't get that one too much, bro. Maybe y'all could tell me, bro. I ain't get that one though, for real.
Boo is a witch. Okay, we get it. Some of these theories are far-fetched and force you to suspend your disbelief. Well, get ready for another wild ride, because if Boo is not Violet, then she is definitely a witch. And not just any witch, but the evil witch from Brave. How could this be? How could the tiny and innocent little Boo grow up to become an evil witch who travels back in time and causes Merida to turn her mother into a bear? Well, all the answers lie in the far-reaching Pixar theory. To help tie into the theory and connect Brave with other Pixar films, we are left with the lonely witch from the woods. The theory involves Boo's use and understanding of the magical doors. In an effort to find Sully when she is grown, Boo taps into the magic of the time-traveling Monsters, Inc. doors, but she obviously goes the wrong way. Stuck back in medieval times, Boo must live alone in the woods where she perfects her witch magic, never to see Sully again. One of the biggest pieces of evidence tied to this theory is featured in the witch's house. Look at the background to spot a carving of Sully in one of the pieces of wood. Another carving showcases the Pizza Planet truck, a clear sign the witch is from the distant future and possibly Boo.
I've never stayed up this late in my life!
Don't make no
A
sense,
movie
man.
within a movie. As Pixar decided to tap
You have to have watched these. Like, I'm talking about from the creator who made this video. You had to have watched these movies plenty, like more than plenty, you know, more than the norm. You have to watch these movies plenty of times for you to start linking stuff between one thing and two things. I know he might not have done it all by himself, but bro, the internet is a big help in figure out this stuff. But bro, it's something fishy that goes on behind the Disney and Pixar scene, and they're starting to get, you know, exposed more and more. Not just them though, like, you know, big companies too, man. You know, you just don't make it up there without doing something fishy behind the scenes that you get caught later on. You know what I mean?
into the world of Monsters, Inc. for a sequel, they decided to go back in time and showcase the origin story of Mike and Sully in the film Monsters University. The movie showcases some great story elements and helps build up to the events of Monsters, Inc. But what if the whole Monsters University film was just a movie within a movie? As theorized by a user on Reddit, the Monsters University movie was actually created for the citizens of Monstropolis. After the events of Monsters, Inc., the public trust of the power company was at an all-time low. With promotions given to Mike and Sully, the world needed to know who these characters were, and they needed to clean up the evil perception Monsters, Inc. once had. The best way to do this was with a hyped-up propaganda film showcasing an idealistic way Mike and Sully went through college and rose through the ranks of Monsters, Inc. One of the biggest pieces of evidence of this theory comes from the first Monsters, Inc., where Mike says he knew Sully since the 4th grade. In Monsters University, the characters clearly meet for the first time, which could have been a nice staged gag for the propaganda film. The film does manage to showcase how Mike and Sully were both naturals in their positions at Monsters, Inc., and is seen on a whole different light when viewed as a company-based documentary.
Okay, everybody, coast is clear.
Andy has a monster. Besides Boo, there are many children in the Pixar universe who may have encountered the monsters at some point. One of the biggest possible connections to the monsters is Andy, Woody's original owner from the Toy Story franchise. Many theories have sprung up over the years involving Andy, Toy Story, and Monsters, Inc. One of the more commonly seen Easter eggs in Monsters, Inc. involves a Jessie toy seen in Boo's room. The doll helps confirm that the toys in Toy Story also exist within the world of Monsters, Inc.
Oh,
if this is true, then Andy must exist in this world as well. A number of the Andy connection theories come from a small scene in Monsters, Inc., where Randall practices his camouflage skills, and one of the backgrounds appears to be the infamous blue paint and white cloud seen in Andy's room.
Okay.
The brothers Carlin dove into this theory further, giving more supporting evidence that Randall was in fact Andy's monster. Besides the background connection, the theory draws a connection between Andy's closet door and a door seen in the Monsters, Inc. universe. Duplicate doors were found, fully connecting Andy's original room to Randall and Monsters, Inc. Hopefully, Andy was able to get rid of his monsters after his family moved away by the end of the original Toy Story movie.
As long as it doesn't come near us, we're gonna be okay.
Monsters and the Black Plague. In Monsters, Inc., the humans are scared of the monsters and the fear they bring. But one of the early story twists in the movie shows the monsters are actually more scared of humans than the other way around. The whole city of Monstropolis even has a special agency known as the CD.
Bruh. One thing about that lady right there, bruh, there is literally teachers out there, bruh, who is just like that lady, maybe even meaner, and built just like her, bruh. Y'all can't tell me, bruh. built. I'm talking about built from the head to the toe. Built just like this lady, bro. There are some teachers out there just mean. I'm talking about just the meanest you can ever be, and built just so bad. Look at that, bro. How you built like that, bro? But there's teachers out there, bro, just built like that, bro. It'd be crazy.
A, or Child Detection Agency. Their job is to keep the whole city contained from human touch or contact. What exactly are they scared of? Based upon their reactions and the way humans are treated, it's clear the monsters have had a historical experience of dealing with the Black Plague. The Black Plague originated in the 1300s, killing millions of people and spreading around the globe until the early 1900s. One of the main ways the disease spread was through fleas. Look back on the treatment of characters who had human contact, and the treatment is really similar to how you would treat flea infestations. One of the monsters with a sock on him was shaved and showered down. That's all it took to get him clean, and is one of the main pieces of evidence these monsters feared the Black Plague. Clearly, there was some point early on where monsters were getting the Black Plague themselves and suffering from the widespread disease. With the Black Plague gone by the time Boo was alive, Sully had no problems or reactions to handling a human.
Let's go home and play.
Sid is the true monster. We've seen multiple connections to Toy Story and Monsters, Inc., but there is another connection made to the movie after the events of the first film. Through this connection, we learn that Sid is the ultimate Pixar monster. Sid's intervention from Woody and the other toys clearly didn't work. In the limited run of the official Monsters, Inc. comic book, Sid enters the world of Monstropolis. Now that his days of mutating toys are over, Sid decides to start stealing them. To get to the world of monsters, Sid uses his younger sister's door to sneak into the monster world. Sid goes in and out of children's rooms, stealing their toys, and one of his main targets is Boo's room. Sid sneaks into her—
This is a comic, bruh? I never knew this before, bruh. That's a comic book, bruh? And so you trying to tell me the original, what's his name? The guy in Toy Story who played with the toys, forgot his name, bruh. You trying to tell me that this man used to be like a thief?
her room and steals Boo's Jessie doll. Now,
That's
instead of just
crazy.
ruining the toys, he is ruining other children's lives by stealing their precious items. After getting caught, Sid is confronted by the monsters and sent back to the human world. This kid has now
Wow,
dealt with
bruh.
monsters and talking toys. He must be traumatized from the experience. In Sid's crazy world, he remains the true monster, and a character who has done wrong to some of our favorites like Sully, Boo, and Buzz Lightyear.
What?
Wow! What theory is the most realistic? Should Pixar reveal—
That's crazy, bro. There's a lot of things behind the scene that we don't know about, bro. Just like SpongeBob, bro. There's like truths behind the SpongeBob, like, you know, being that they're like the deadly sins between each character, and it makes it seem like, are these made when they come up, or do they just somehow find their way to light as, you know, the show progresses on, bro? That's just something to think about. Anyways, guys, man, that is the crazy, dirty truth of Monster Inc., bro. If you guys did enjoy me, make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you guys subscribe down below. Other than that, man, it's me, Wolf, the camera. I'm out of saying. Peace out. Love you guys.